Welcome to Let's Talk Healthy Living. I'm Marlene, your host. For this video, we're chatting with Tolani Mak, co-owner and founder of TC Wellness. She's debunking all the myths about compression wear. Listen in and hear how compression wear can benefit you. Tolani.
Hello.
Thank you for taking the time to chat with us.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to see you again.
It's absolutely my pleasure.
Yes. So welcome to Let's Talk Healthy Living.
Thank you.
And welcome all of you again to Let's Talk Healthy Living. And so the reason I wanted to chat with you as several weeks ago, I think it's been a while now, right?
Yeah, maybe a month ago.
Yeah, a month ago when we participated in this event together.
Yes.
And you were just at the table right next to me. And you had these absolutely beautiful, at the time, I thought they were like socks and tights. However, they were a lot more than that. They were like compression wear.
Yes.
And I was absolutely fascinated at how far compression wear has come. Mm-hmm. However, before we dive deeper into all of this, because I'm really curious about all of that as well, but can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, of course. I'd be happy to. So, Tolani, that's my name. My name actually means worthy of wealth. So I'm hoping that means sometimes I should be getting checks in the mail or something. But about me, I have been passionate about health and well-being for as long as I've known. When I was a teenager, I tried everything. Like I tried diets because I was like, oh, in the future, when I have clients, I want to be able to say that I've tried this. And like I tried all kinds of things. My parents thought I was crazy. They're like, which patients, which clients? Like, you're 13. But pretty much that passion stuck. And I studied kinesiology in university at McMaster. And that just grew my passion for health and well-being. And the program was very much about like how exercise and healthy living solves everything. We used to joke, my classmates and I, that, okay, here's another course about how healthy living can solve any problem. And so we just had that as a running joke. And I know it's like cliche and we all know it, but it's so true. Like basic things, compression wear, which we're going to talk about, like healthy eating, which I know is really important to you, skincare, water, like all these basic normal things that are accessible to most of us are so life-changing. And I genuinely believe that. I try to live that out. I try to encourage others in my life to live it out. And that's really a huge thread through everything I do. Because I'm also very entrepreneurial, but everything I do entrepreneurially has that thread in it.
That healthy living.
Yeah, exactly.
But how did you come into, I know compression wear, that's a really important part of healthy living.
Yes. Because
it does help people to live a lot healthier, right?
Absolutely.
However, how did you get into the industry of compression wear?
Yeah, that's another great question. It's kind of a random niche, right? So after I graduated university, I got a job at an interdisciplinary clinic. And I love interdisciplinary clinics because it's all kinds of health practitioners working together for the good of the patient, right? And one of the modalities we used was compression. And I was stunned at how quickly and like effectively it worked. So when people would get compression wear, for example, we would have nurses who are like, oh, I'm on my feet all day at work. I'm in so much pain. After work, I can't do anything. Like and they would try compression wear and they'd be like, wow, like life-changing. And it would be within days. And if you are familiar with the world of rehab, that is just, it's like there are barely any modalities that make such a big change in such little time. Mm-hmm. So maybe it was my passion for results, but I think it was also coupled with my desire to solve a problem, because there was only one problem with compression. For most people, they were ugly granny stockings that were uncomfortable. And so even though they were game-changing and life-changing, for a lot of people, they just were not willing to like go through the discomfort. So I saw an opportunity there. That's where like my entrepreneurial brain and my healthy living brain kind of met. I was like, okay, it's something that's very effective. It's really rapid, but there's a problem to solve there in terms of like how it feels and how it looks so that people can feel happy using them.
Yes, and so that's essentially how the TC Wellness was developed.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we started off as traveling compression, which is where the T and the C come from. A lot of people think it stands for Tolani and Calvin, my husband. Unplanned. It stands for traveling compression. And that was the core brand. So we started off as traveling compression. So all about compression. And like my mindset was, oh, all the different places you travel. You know, we travel to work, we travel for fun, we travel, you know, for all the different places we travel, there's compression. So that was like the core name. And then traveling compression just felt really long. And sometimes on people's credit cards, it would say travel and they'd be like, I did not buy luggage. So I was like, okay, we need a brand that's a little more brandable. And so that's where TC Wellness came from.
That's it. That's incredible. But because one of the things that you mentioned is that the perception of compression wear, and
Yes.
you talked about the granny stocking because as soon as you hear compression, that's what I saw.
Yes.
As well. And even before I met you, like a month ago,
Right.
when someone said, "Oh, you know, compression wear," I think these stockings. You go to the pharmacy, you pick one up.
Right.
They're in one color, beige, no matter what skin tone, what skin tone you've got. So it was a pleasure seeing that and seeing the evolution of compression wear. So you're doing an incredible thing here.
Thank
So
you.
congratulations for that. But can you talk about the benefits of compression wear? And for example, for people who are maybe have a misconception about compression wear, just tell us what it is and what that entails,
Right.
because it's a vast
Yes.
area, right?
Yes, definitely. So compression wear can range from preventative to people with extremely severe conditions. So it is quite vast. Majority of the people we see are in the middle. So they're not fully using it for prevention and they're not using it for severe conditions, although we have those people too. But majority of the people we see are actually working professionals. They're using it because they do have symptoms at work. Not severe, but like mild symptoms. For example, they've got swelling in their legs, they've got throbbing, achy calves, usually from long shifts, prolonged standing. So a lot of our clients are nurses, doctors, like hospital workers in general, office workers, like we've got a lot of federal, public servants, City of Toronto, like office workers who are wearing like skirts and they want beautiful stockings, right? That work with their outfit, but they also want that benefit. And I think actually the fact that compression does look much more beautiful these days is why there's a wider range of people using it. Because if you're going to wear stockings anyway, if you're going to wear socks anyway, why not wear socks and stockings that are actually improving your health and improving your circulation? So that was something that I feel a lot of working professionals are caught on to. There is a health wave. There are a lot of people who are much more mindful about healthy lifestyle. There's also a lot of like conversations about biohacking, like what's the best way I can like elongate my life and elongate my well-being. How can I keep my legs healthy longer, right? Legs are important. Nobody wants those ugly veins that maybe they've seen in their moms and their grandmas. And unfortunately, a lot of young people, we have that too, because sometimes it's genetic. Sometimes it's after babies. Babies are beautiful, but they're costly. They're costly on our bodies, right? So that's kind of like, that gives you the gist of the range of the clients we serve. But of course, we do also serve clients with really severe, like lipedema, lymphedema, all kinds of like serious conditions. Even people with orthostatic hypotension who maybe can't even be discharged from a hospital unless they get compression wear, because their care team is concerned that they will fall if they don't have that, right? Because their blood pressure drops and, So there's people who absolutely need it for severe conditions. I do have people who are using it because they're sports enthusiasts or travel enthusiasts. They know that like if I'm getting on a plane, I need my compression. So it's more preventative for them. sports enthusiasts as well. If they have a sports injury, then it's less preventative at that point. But without a sports injury, sometimes they're wearing it to like optimize, and to like prevent injuries because it's become really huge into the sports world. So that's kind of the range of the people we get.
So it's no longer people who are not associated with people who are much older. And when we were chatting, I
Right.
think you said that the majority of people of your clients
Yes.
happens to be much younger.
Absolutely. And I think it's because we do specialize in the fun, the beautiful compression wear, right? So yeah, actually, that was something that I have found somewhat surprising, and I would say majority of the people I speak to find surprising. I actually don't have a lot of elderly clients, which is quite shocking. Majority of our clients are 20 to 50 in that range.
So most of them are using it as prevention in that case.
No, they're using it for work.
Oh, they're using it for
Yeah,
work.
most of our clients use it for work because they know that if they don't wear their compression socks and they are sitting on their desks all day, their legs do feel tired.
Okay.
Yeah, I had this dance after work challenge at some point where it's like compression socks give you the energy to dance after work because young people care. We want to dance after work. We don't want to feel like grannies talking about granny stuff, right? Like you don't want to lose energy. You want that like vibrance and you want to be able to use it to take care of your young kids, for example, or to hang out with your friends or whatever you want to do after work. Like you don't want to be too exhausted to enjoy your life after work. So that's why most of our clients use it. Yeah.
So Tolani, even the grannies are dancing. These days, right?
I love it. I love it. Actually, funny enough, it's been a tragedy that we don't have as many elderly clients because I love that age demographic, and I think it's probably because of my background in kinesiology. A lot of my volunteer placements were in those settings. So yeah, I love grannies dancing after work.
Exactly. Dancing all the time.
Although they're not working, probably.
Right. So they're dancing more.
They're dancing all day. I love it.
And so one of the things that I'm wondering as well is are there people who shouldn't be or can't
Great
use
question.
compression wear?
Absolutely. I would say it obviously is individual. So anytime I see certain, what I might call yellow flags, I would have someone speak to their doctor. So it doesn't mean they can't, because at the end of the day, we are holistic beings, which means we're always managing symptoms. Sometimes I'm surprised by who a doctor would prescribe a compression sock for, because I'm like, really? But they've got this and they've got that, and those are kind of contraindications, which is what we call them. But it doesn't mean they can't. It just means proceed with caution. So sometimes the doctors are like, yep, I know why I prescribed it. Like, I respect your expertise, but the symptoms they're experiencing from this outweigh, in my opinion, the threat that I perceive coming from that. So some of those things would be, I think I mentioned earlier that people with hypotension, so low blood pressure, often wear compression to help increase their blood pressure and prevent them from falling from their blood pressure dropping all of a sudden when they go from laying to standing, right? Now, that would tell you that people with hypertension are probably not going to want to use compression without caution, because compression socks do help sometimes with increasing your blood pressure. Not necessarily. So it's not like there's no hard and fast rule. It really just depends on the doctor and what they think is best for the person. But I personally do proceed with caution when someone says they have hypertension, especially if it's unmanaged. If it's managed and, they're on medication, that's a different story. But there are many people today who choose an alternative path to managing their hypertension. So then I would be more cautious. I would say, hey, can you speak to your doctor? And then it just depends on what the doctor says. The other thing I am cautious of is people with diabetes. So diabetes is an interesting one because they often have circulation issues when they have diabetes. So compression wear would help with that. However, because a lot of people with diabetes wear diabetic socks, which are mostly like seamless and kind of loose. And compression is sort of the opposite of that, right? So now actually there are diabetic compression socks. And so they try to optimize the best of both worlds for what people with diabetes need. So if someone has diabetes, I would still want to know that it's managed. Again, I respect people taking an alternative path. I did mention I studied kinesiology, so I do believe lifestyle solves everything. But again, if someone's taking a self-managed path, I would say to them, hey, just so you know, these are kind of the risks, right? And now, thanks to diabetic compression socks, those risks are mitigated. But of course, there won't be as much variety. So when you add any special need, like maternity, diabetes, any of these things, the variety of options does decrease a bit. But I do also do fully custom made compression wear, so then the options increase again.
Yeah, you're talking about custom made because before anybody can walk into a pharmacy and just pick up a compression
Right.
stocking.
Yeah.
However, it's no longer it's not a one size fits all
Right.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that they would have to go to their doctor, get a prescription, and then come and see you. Or can anybody just come give you a call to say, I'm interested in getting compression stocking?
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's also covered under insurance, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. So it really depends. So yes, we get lots of people who call us who say, hey, I've done some research, or my colleague told me, my sister told me. A lot of the people who come to us, it's word of mouth or internet, So they do come to us often first. Sometimes they go to their doctor first, and that's perfectly fine because it really just depends. It depends on the compression factor. So the strength of the compression varies, kind of like how I said, there's preventative all the way to severe issues. The strength of the compression will not be the same for everyone. So some people might benefit from lower pressure compression wear, and some people benefit from higher pressure compression wear, right? So in the lowest pressure compression wear, you need the least amount of measurements. So those are the ones that you can just grab at the store. Now, those ones are really not doing much. They're mostly preventative. For most of our clients, they do one level up. And it's kind of like the entrance to the medical grade. So that at that level, most insurance companies do cover it. Some insurance companies don't even need a prescription to cover it these days because they know that these days people are doing their own research, making informed decisions, and people are trying to decrease barriers because we want everyone healthy, right? And they trust that when they come to someone like myself who is specialized in it, I would also be giving them advice that pertains to anything that I think they should be speaking to their doctor about, right? And anything that's just lifestyle, kind of in that wellness, allied health professional kind of range. So insurance companies do rely on us to kind of direct people accordingly. So I do send people back to doctors sometimes, and sometimes I'm able to serve them. In regards to insurance, I would say most insurance companies absolutely cover compression wear, usually 4 to 6 pairs a year, because they are socks.
And so in terms of the process, so when one calls you, what is the process that one would kind of go through when they kind of book an appointment with you?
Yeah, so when they call, we book them in. We usually bring them in person, or they have the option of a virtual fitting. And virtual fitting is actually quite popular. We started it during the pandemic because, things were locked down initially. But throughout the pandemic and beyond, a lot of people choose virtual fittings because it's convenient, it's in the comfort of their home, and they don't have to, feel like they need to clean up, because we do offer home visits as well. And, there's a bit of pressure like when someone's coming into your home. So virtual fitting has all the comfort of home without having to kind of prepare, if you know what I mean. So virtual fittings are an option. In-person fittings are also an option. So if it was an in-person fitting, if it was here in Ottawa, they would come to this beautiful office, which you are in, which we enjoy working in. And this is where we would assess them. This is where we would measure them. This is where we would do any paperwork that they need. We would show them samples, like I've got some here, which I can talk about a little bit more later, but we would show samples that they can feel and, kind of get a feel for and decide what is suitable for them. If it was in Toronto, we do have a location there as well, downtown Toronto, same process. And so when they come and see us, we take care of everything in less than half an hour. So the fitting, the education, the lifestyle assessment, the product recommendations, the paperwork for the insurance, everything is done in less than half an hour. And after that, it's just them waiting for their products, which they can choose to pick up with us or choose for it to be shipped to them. Once again, most people choose shipping. We do offer free shipping if people order a certain amount of pairs. Majority of people do. So we ship to them, they try at home, and they're usually like, yay, thank you. And if there's ever any issues, then we deal with it at that point. So that's the whole process. Yeah.
But I guess I'm just wondering as well, when they're doing it virtually,
Yes.
How does that work? Because
I know, right?
what if they don't get the measurements correct?
So when they're doing it virtually, I coach them through it. So first of all, they need to have a tape measure at home, and they also need to have a device with a video. So I actually watch them doing it because, I don't trust people to send their measurements. Once we had a gentleman send his ankle measurement, and it was like baby size. I was like, no, this is why we do virtual fittings. Because, if you're not used to that, it's totally fair, right? And it's really important that we get the sizing right. So it's a guided measurement session. I watch them. I make sure the camera is facing their legs, because usually we're measuring their legs. And then I'll say a little lower, a little higher, to make sure we have the right spot. And when I have the right spot, I'll be like, there, stop, pause. We get the number. I write it down. And then next measurement, go to your calf. Okay, a little lower, a little higher. So it's very, very guided. And I make sure that I get it exactly how I need it. So to be honest, my in-person fittings and virtual fittings are identical.
Nice, very nice. And talking about the different types of compression wear, and I'm going to talk about cost afterwards as well.
Cost is important.
Cost is important. So can you show us?
Yeah, of course. So this is not everything, but I did pull a few. Of course, I'm wearing compression myself.
Which is a really nice one. Beautiful
Thank
color
you.
too.
I love this color. I actually have a blazer in this color. It's way too hot for that today. But sometimes when I go out, I'll wear my compression, like this color with the blazer that matches. And I get so many compliments, and I just love the look on people's faces when I say they're compression. They're just shocked because they were just complimenting them as normal stockings, right? Yes. And when they're like, wait, what? You're getting health benefits and you look that good? What? So yes, I love this color, and I love all kinds of colorful stuff, but I also love skin tone. I do wear compression tights in my skin tone, which again, like you said, back in the day, it was just beige. But when I say skin tone, I mean this skin tone. So here I have some knee highs. So these are obviously some fun colors. We carry 7 different brands. And the reason we do is to have variety for our clients. Some clinics will carry 1 or 2 because it's just logistically easier. But it's because we specialize in compression. So when people see us, they might try a little bit of this, a little bit of that. They might say, oh, actually, I want some that are fully custom made, which we can talk about a little bit. And that I would literally design from scratch and then order from, there's only a few manufacturers that do the fully custom made ones. So anyway, knee high. So these are some fun ones. These ones come in, some of them come in the lower pressure, which people can kind of choose in a drugstore, assuming it had all this variety. But all of these come in the lowest medical grade, which is what most of our clients get. And that is 20 to 30 mmHg. So this is really popular. It's like a linen fabric, which is really great for the summer. Blend of cotton and linen. So it's very breathable, very comfortable. I think one of our mutual friends might have done something like that.
And what about ones that you can actually travel with? Because I'm assuming when people are going on long flights, they probably want something comfortable too. Right?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So that brings us to the cottons and the merino wools. So this one's actually merino wool, but there's a cotton that looks almost the same as this. And it's just your normal sock, right? Those days where you don't care about the colors, you don't care about the padding, you just want to be comfortable. right? Now, I have actually traveled in these. I love the sock. It's really thin, really breathable. It's an athletic sock, but it still has the compression, and it was very comfortable. I wore it with a dress, actually, like a maxi dress, and it just like fit seamlessly. Like the color I was wearing was perfect with this blue. This is another winter, very popular. It kind of looks like the Roots brand, right? Very Canadian. I actually have a sock that has a Canadian flag on it. That's really popular too. Yeah, this one's also
Winter one.
winter, exactly. This one's really popular. It's very soft. When you talked about comfort, I'll let you feel it actually. There are a few of those kinds where they're really just like soft. They've got a little bit of that like it's called
breathable too.
Very breathable. It's got a bit of like lanolin inside, so it's like kind of like a bit of coating for your skin. So if you don't have lotion on or whatever, but you want to be comfortable and moist, these socks are really great. And they're popular among men because they feel like the men's dress socks, but a lot of women also go for them because of how soft they are. And that's another thing. I have a lot of people who like steal their spouse's socks because they're like, "Ooh, he got something. I think we're about the same size, and he got something I really like." So yeah.
But she also talked about custom made.
Custom made, yes. So I'm going to put the knee highs aside for a second. So when it comes to custom made can be in knee highs, thigh highs, or full length. And even the non-custom made also come in like thigh highs and full length. But
oh, those are nice.
yeah, they are. So these are super sheer for the summer. You can kind of like really see through them. So they're really, really sheer. Very popular. This is obviously someone's skin tone. This is the one, when I said I wear them in my skin tone, usually it'll be this one I'm wearing because it's just really sheer, comes in my skin tone, looks really great. I can wear them with a pair of shorts and people think it's my skin.
Yeah, and the top it's even stylish too.
Yeah,
with a bit of lace at the top.
Why not?
Yes. Oh, it's beautiful. Wow.
Yeah.
You can tell that it's quite breathable.
Exactly. Very soft, very comfortable, very popular. People also travel in this, especially in the summer. If they're wearing like I mentioned, my maxi dress, right? This is something I would definitely travel in. But in terms of the fully custom made ones, most people don't need that. So when we do the custom fitted, which is what I do, we are measuring anyway. And then people go usually in like a size 1, size 2, size 3, size 4, size 5, to size 7. And it's not just the numbers, but it's also length. Because someone could be a 1 because they're skinny, but they could be super tall, right? Or they could be like a 5 and be really short. So we take all this into consideration. And for majority of people, when I say majority, I mean 99% of people, that's good enough. Now, for that 1%, I'm talking like ultra tall people, which I have had, right? People who maybe are super, super tiny. Like I've had a lady who, she was smaller than a size 1, like very small. I've had people who maybe have had certain specialized surgeries where body parts have been moved from one place to another. And like, maybe they've had a graft from, and now it's shaped differently. So people who are really like outliers, the 1%, that's usually when we go for fully custom made garments. And it can look just like this. The only difference is instead of taking a few measurements of your ankles, your calves, these things, I'm taking like, I usually would never do that virtually because I would have to be like, there, pause, there, now, it's like, I don't know, maybe over 40 measurements.
Wow, for custom made.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how long, when one orders from you, how long does it generally take?
So generally speaking, like I said, 99% of people get the custom fitted ones, right? So with the custom fitted, it can take like 1 to 2 weeks. If someone's going on a trip and they need it rushed, we can sometimes do it within a week. It also depends on like stock, the manufacturers, if they have something in stock at the time. So usually if someone's traveling, they're not too picky. They're like, I want something kind of like this. Then they're fine. Like I can do it within a few days. If they want exactly that, which usually happens because we have so much variety, they fall in love with the style, Then, it really depends. But majority of the time I'm able to meet whatever deadlines people have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But if it's custom made,
It'll take like a month or so, I'm assuming.
yeah.
Okay.
It'll take like a month or so. Exactly what you said. Again, we can rush it and try to do it in like a few weeks, but typically a month if it's fully custom made. But if it's not custom made, 1 to 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And so what about cost? Because I'm
Yes.
sure our viewers are wondering about that.
It's like, yeah, that's a really good question. Cost. Okay, so they start around $40 and range to around like $250 because it depends on the strength, the length, and sometimes the style. So for example, since I have some in my lap right now, let's say we were doing this one in 20 to 30 mmHg, which is what most working professionals go for. So these are the women I talked about, men who have, a bit of swelling at work and things like that, right? Well, I don't have a lot of men ordering this, but that's okay too. So let's say they were getting this in 20 to 30. That would be $200. Now, majority of insurance companies will cover that and then some. If they were getting something like this, like a knee high, in the same compression strength, it would be $140 to $150 per pair. And once again, most insurance companies would cover that and then some. So our prices are actually very competitive. We chose our prices partially because we wanted to be accessible to people even if they don't have insurance. So just because your insurance company will pay $200 for this doesn't mean I should charge $200 for it. Because what if somebody else doesn't have insurance? Or what if they have insurance that doesn't cover that much, right? Then it's not accessible. And for me, accessibility is really, really important.
And what about care? Because if you're spending $200,
Yeah.
and even for something like the sheer one
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
got there,
yeah.
how long does something like that last? And you're paying $200. It's not going to run because sometimes I put some nylons on, and in an hour you see a huge.
You see them running, yeah. So the cool thing about compression wear is it's much, much less likely to run. I mean, you can see, like, I would never do this with non-compression wear, right? Like, I wouldn't play with it like this. Like, it would be ripped by now, right? So the good thing about it is they're very durable. They're very strong, even the sheer ones, right? However, they also have warranty. So within the first few months, if they run, then you can reach back to me and I can do something about it most of the time. Now, if it's obvious that you kind of did this, that with it, that's not going to go over very well. But if it's like, just a little run, then that's usually okay. The other thing about it is in terms of how long it lasts. So usually if you were wearing it every single day, it lasts about 6 months. Majority of people don't. So most of our clients, it ends up lasting about 2 years actually, which is quite long, especially for socks and stockings. Insurance companies generally will cover them every year. And so because they're covering it every year, what happens is, let's say people's coverage covers 4 pairs, which is pretty common. So they'll get 4, and then next year they'll get 4, and then they'll end up with 8, which is much, much better. Especially once you do different varieties and lifestyle, you need to have a variety. And so the following year, you're throwing out the ones you got 2 years ago. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's most people. Now, for my nurses, my athletes who are like using them, we had a guy once who was ordering every month, and I was like, what? But he was like a pro athlete. So I'm like, okay, fair. I don't, so it really just depends on use. So 6 months every single day is based on normal use. But if you are, working in an OR, or you're an athlete or something like that, then it might be a bit less.
And I'm assuming it would depend upon the type. Let's say if you're getting socks,
yeah,
it probably could last
a little longer. Sometimes you'd be surprised though. I had a lady who she used to love the linen, but then she tried the stocking, not the super sheer one, but the mid sheer, similar to what I'm wearing. And according to her, she finds that they're more durable. So really, everyone's experience is different. In her case, she felt that was more durable, partially because I think the linens were wearing out in a very particular spot, where I think this one was reinforced because it's got reinforced heel and toe. So It really depends, but you'd be surprised how long these like I've had these stockings that I'm wearing right now for over a year, well over a year, and I wear them a lot.
But what about care? Are they
Yeah.
machine washable? Do you have to wash them?
Yes, they are machine washable. Yeah, they're machine washable. Most of them are to be air dried. Some of them you can put in the dryer, or you should put in the dryer. The manufacturer usually decides in terms of what they think will prolong their socks. But a lot of them you hang to dry. But all of them are machine washable. You don't have to hand wash.
And there's not like shrinking when you wash them. Should you be
No.
washing them cold water, warm water, hot water?
Yeah, I would do cold water, like just normal, normal temperature. I wouldn't use fabric softeners because it messes with the elasticity. So no fabric softeners. Yeah. And you can just put them regular detergent. In the beginning, I was more careful. Like I've been in this for over a decade. Honestly, I do things to my compression I probably shouldn't. They're pretty durable.
So to sum it all up,
Yeah.
what message would you like to convey to our viewers?
Your body is important, like genuinely, because we can't do anything if we don't have our body supporting us to do it. But you've got this one body, and I think stewarding it well is really, really important. I think sometimes we can undervalue how important it is to steward our body because we serve. Especially a lot of the people we see at TC Wellness are serving so many others. And so it's really easy to think, oh, I just need to take care of this person or take care of that person. But I actually think us stewarding our bodies allows us to show up to serve the people in our lives the way we want to. It allows us to be comfortable. It's important to be comfortable in your body. And so if I can help you to be more comfortable in your body so you can do whatever you do better, I'd be happy to help.
Nicely said. With what you're doing, it enables people to live healthier longer.
100%. Yes. I love my retired, clients because I have a lot of long time clients. I joke with my husband sometimes when I have some long time clients who were there before him. I'm like, she's, like before I met you, she's been here. She's been a client. And I just love them retiring well, traveling with their compression. They sent me photos, and they're just living life to the fullest. And it's so beautiful.
And it's all about that.
Yes.
This living life to the fullest.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you so very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Really, really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching.
Let's take time for living.
Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in.